Barty Crouch Jr., the maniacal son of Barty Crouch, also a Time Lord. His mission, which he chose to accept, was to somehow get Harry Potter to Voldemort, thus bringing the dawn of a new Dark Age. Though his plan succeeded in the end of the Goblet of Fire, what if it didn't? I'm Space Wizard, let's talk about that.
Hello, Father.
You are no son of mine.
Before I get this started, if you haven't seen the Harry Potter books or read the movies, well, you know what I mean. This video contains spoilers. If you're one of the few people in the world that hasn't even heard of Harry Potter, just shut down your computer and read them right away. Now that I've got that out of the way, so, for those of you that aren't familiar with Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Wormtail, Barty Crouch Jr., and the weird baby Voldemort that devised a plan to get Voldemort a non-baby-sized body, although he does look creepier as a baby. Anyways, let's get you guys up to speed. So Voldemort...
Don't say his name.
Oh, sorry. So you-know-who has tried a few times before to come back. Once using the Philosopher's Stone, yes, the Philosopher's Stone. Another time trying to come back as a ghosty boy, and now he's got it down pat. He's gonna put a bunch of random crap in a cauldron and make Voldemort soup. I don't even want to know what that smells like. Or what it... moving on. So, Barty Crouch Jr. is chosen to infiltrate Hogwarts as the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, Mad-Eye Moody. Barty uses Polyjuice Potion and successfully poses as Moody. You know, Polyjuice Potion doesn't make much sense in 4 when compared to 2. In Chamber of Secrets, Harry and Ron had to disguise their voices, somehow not making Malfoy suspicious. Here in the movie, Barty Jr. doesn't have to do jack apparently. You could argue that he's using a spell to change his voice. Look at this scene.
I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Would the spell go away if he didn't take the Polyjuice Potion? Probably not. Maybe he's just really good at impressions? You see, in the books, taking Polyjuice Potion changed Ron and Harry's voices, but it didn't in the movies, thus making an inconsistency. Thanks for that, Chris Columbus. Anyways, we're not here to talk about that. So, Barty Crouch Jr. sets up everything for the rise of Voldemort. He gets Harry into the Triwizard Tournament, and if you want to know how he did that, past self, take it away.
In the book, Barty Crouch Jr., which is the which is Mad-Eye Moody in disguise, or is Barty Crouch is disguised as Mad-Eye Moody, he explains that he put Harry in another school, like inside the cup, and since Harry was the only one in that school, then Harry's name was destined to be chosen.
Harry's in the tournament, and Barty gives him hints to lead him right into his trap. He bewitches Crumb, makes the cup a portkey, bing bang boom, kills a spare, and you know the rest. What was Wormtail doing while all of this happened? Adventures in Voldemort City? Anyways, now we've got all of this built up to the actual what if, let's get started. So, how would Barty's plan fail? It's mostly pretty straightforward, but there's a few ways along the way that he could have screwed up. The first way would be if he was found out, which actually almost happens. There's a point where Barty Crouch Sr. recognizes Barty Crouch Jr.'s tongue thingy and grows very suspicious. In the book, Barty Crouch is murdered and transfigured into a bone, but if Barty had gone up to Dumbledore before this happened, Barty Crouch Jr. would have been stopped and Voldemort wouldn't have risen to power. Yet. Now, since Wormtail is out in the world with Voldemort, I'm pretty sure they would have been able to come up with a plan to get Voldemort back, but that would have taken more time. How would this affect Harry's life in the wizarding world of Harry Potter? Well, for starters, Cedric would still be alive, Dumbledore's army might have not happened, the Ministry might have not interfered with Hogwarts matters, and Harry would probably not be all depressed and stuff like an Order of the Phoenix. In the long run, this could mean that Sirius wouldn't die. Well, not yet. Besides that and a few little details, there's no really saying how the different things would be. Now, how else would Barty's plan fail, you might be wondering? Well, the second way he could have failed is if Harry wasn't permitted to take part in the tournament. Now, as Barty Crouch said,
The Goblet of Fire constitutes a binding magical contract. Mr. Potter has no choice. He is, as of tonight, a Triwizard champion.
but what if Barty was like, nah dude, he's cool, he's been through too much crap as it is, let him sit this one out. This would have also greatly changed events. For one, Ron's anger towards Harry might have been resolved differently. While watching the first task, he realizes that Harry would have been crazy to purposely put his name into the goblet. Since Harry doesn't have to compete, this would mean that Ron would either forgive him faster or it'd take longer. I doubt anything serious would happen, like Ron becoming a Death Eater. It just made good drama, since it was their first really big fight. What else would change? Well, once again, Cedric probably wouldn't have died because Barty Crouch wouldn't need to turn the cup into a portkey. Now, here's an interesting question. Who would win the tournament? To be perfectly honest, my money's on Cedric. He seemed like the brightest of the bunch. Then again, he had help from Harry in the beginning, as well as Barty Crouch Jr. Without that help, things could have gone differently. What else would have changed? Well, since this is the main plan and it already failed, I'd imagine that since Barty Crouch Jr. is still at Hogwarts and is still undiscovered, that he would find a way to get Harry into the graveyard. It wouldn't be easy though, he'd have to earn Harry's trust. In the original story, part of the reason why Harry trusted him so much is because of the tournament. He was basically Harry's coach, and Sirius also told him to trust him since he was an ex-Auror. Without that, it might have been harder. Once again, if Barty Crouch Jr. failed to get Harry in the graveyard, Voldemort wouldn't have returned, the Ministry of Magic wouldn't be against Dumbledore and Harry, and Harry's 5th year might have gone better. If Barty were found out in this version, it's quite possible that security would have been increased at Hogwarts, and it's maybe even possible that the Ministry would have gotten involved. Looks like we've got time for one last way. Alright, well, I guess one last way that he could have failed is that if Harry just absolutely sucked and didn't win anything. Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. This theory sadly can only go so far because who really knows how much would have changed if Barty Crouch Jr.'s plan would fail. Next episode, we'll finally explore what would happen if Sirius hadn't died. Hopefully this time it won't take another 2 years. Yeah.